Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country will not accept any peace deal agreed between the US and Russia without Kiev's involvement.
Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace.
US President Donald Trump yesterday said that during a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, the pair agreed that talks to end the war should start immediately. Speaking to reporters earlier, Mr. Zelensky said it's important that everything does not go according to Putin's plan, in which he wants to do everything to make his negotiations bilateral with the US.
He'll come here and I'll go there, and we're going to meet also probably in Saudi Arabia. The first time we'll meet in Saudi Arabia, see if we can get something done. But we want to end that war. That war is a disaster. It's a really bloody, horrible war.
Hamas has said it is committed to implementing the Gaza ceasefire deal with Israel and will continue releasing hostages within the agreed timeframe. Following talks in Cairo, the Palestinian armed group said Egyptian and Qatari mediators had confirmed they would remove obstacles to the deal. There was no immediate response from Israel, but Egyptian and Qatari reporters said mediators had bridged the gaps between the two sides and both were committed to continue implementation. Israel said the ceasefire would end if Hamas did not return hostages this Saturday. Hamas had earlier said it was postponing releases over what it claimed were Israeli violations. A 24-year-old Afghan asylum seeker has driven at a group of people in Munich, police say, injuring at least 28. Officers are treating the incident as a suspected attack. The suspect was known to police for theft and drug offences. Police say the car accelerated before hitting a trade union rally. An officer fired one shot at the suspect before he was arrested. The crash happened hours before the US Vice President and Ukrainian President were due to arrive in the city for the Munich Security Conference, but police say they don't believe it's related. More than 250 people from 20 nationalities who had been working in telecom fraud centres in Myanmar's Karen state have been released by an ethnic armed group and brought to Thailand. The workers, more than half of whom were from African or Asian nations, were received by the Thai army and are being assessed to find out if they were victims of human trafficking. Last week, the Thai Prime Minister met the Chinese leader Xi Jinping and promised to shut down the scam centres which have proliferated along the Thai-Myanmar border. 12 people have been injured after a grenade was thrown into a busy bar in the French city of Grenoble, local authorities have said. The incident happened at the Akshir bar, leaving 2 people in critical condition. The motive for the attack is not clear, but investigators say it may be linked to a settling of scores. Eyewitness accounts suggest the suspect, who is yet to be identified, may have also been carrying a Kalashnikov assault rifle. Liberian President Joseph Boakai has suspended more than 450 top government officials, including ministers, for failing to declare their assets to the anti-corruption agency. They will be off work without pay for a month or until they submit the required declarations. Boakai said that the officials had contravened the code of conduct for state officials by not being transparent about what they own. The president, who had pledged to fight corruption when he came into office last year, said failure to comply undermined efforts to combat corruption and ensure accountability. None of the crew, who fled a capsized trawler off the coast of Norway which resulted in the death of a fisherman, were wearing life jackets, according to an investigation. Ronald McKinnon from Peterhead died after being airlifted to hospital when the Njord vessel got into difficulty. A probe by the Marine Accident Investigation Branch said none of the 8 crew rescued from the boat's hull were wearing flotation devices during the incident in March 2022. And footage released by the Utah Transit Authority captures a driver's narrow escape from a train collision in Layton in Utah. The vehicle can be seen stuck in front of the train's crossing arms after being rear-ended by a pickup truck onto the tracks. Failing to reverse, the driver exits the car seconds before impact. Remarkably, there were no injuries. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.